Hi, I'm Libby Kavalakis, and I'm a business coach with Pivot Transformational Business Coaching. Today, I'm sharing a presentation I was to give on Alignable in a group that I lead called the Business of GovCon. If you're on Alignable or are thinking of joining, please also join my group. We're sharing information and making great connections. It's just in the starting phases, but I know it's going to keep growing and being more and more useful to the members. I'm going to go through the presentation I put together because it's becoming more and more relevant. It was initially started before September 30th, which is the end of the government fiscal year. Well, now we're in the end of December and the information is still relevant, and there's still things that small businesses can do if you're affected by the federal budgets and if you are a federal contractor. Money may not be flowing as freely as it did. I know there are contracts being let. I know there's some that have been delayed. So there's always an opportunity for you to work on your business. And with that, I'm going to start the presentation. And something important here is that if you have questions or if you have any comments, please put them in the chat or contact me directly at libby@pivottbc.com. I have about 25 years of federal contracting experience in large businesses and small business. I have comments or when I'm giving suggestions, they're based on my actual experience. And with that, we're going to jump right into the presentation. We all know what happened around September 30th. There's always drama every year if the federal budget is going to be passed or not. We won't spend a lot of time on the background, but really what came out of it was the opportunity to have a second continuing resolution. The first one expired on November 17th. Before that, a second one was passed. The first part of it was to fund the agencies through January 19th, and then the remaining agencies and programs would be funded through February 2nd. That seems like a far time away, but it's really not. And let's take a look at it. So, Congress went on vacation last week. So, there's no work in Washington being done directly. I know they all work when they're in their home districts and are on break, and there's informal discussions and more formal discussions, but they're not set to return until January 8th. So that gives them somewhere around 11 calendar days to address part one of the continuing resolution. Will this happen or not? We don't know. I'm hoping that there's been ongoing discussions, and I know there's work being done, but there's also big questions. What is the funding for the Ukraine, for Israel, for the border, for all these different programs and all these different initiatives that seem to make the headlines in the news each day? Those are all feeding into the federal budget and are points of contention as to where the money will go. So it's a big discussion to have. And I hope it does happen. Let's see. The second part of it is February 2nd, just a couple weeks later. Again, if there's discussions going on, I'm hopeful that they will work out. But what that really does is it moves your window of ability to get new funding for new programs or renew contracts or have full levels of funding going forward. When there's a continuing resolution, spending is set at the previous year's level, and some things are just put on hold. If there's something new to do, or if there's not a critical need, it can be put on hold and that money can be swept and put elsewhere. So contractors are really at the mercy of the budget. So what can you do now? And this is a crux of it. You still have time to act. Take a look at your contracts. What are the terms and conditions and which may benefit you? If you're a small business, the company line is always that the government is there to help you. Speak to the contracting officers, speak to the Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization, and figure out what can be done if you are adversely financially affected by any type of budget holdup. I won't go through each of these as you can read them while I'm speaking, but it's also time to get your internal house in order. See if all your marketing collateral is up to date and all your registrations are recent, or if there's something that you can add to it. I just went through something with a client where we added NAICS codes and we renewed the registration and built a new capability statement. And that's going to position them so well for when it's time to go out and really start marketing hard, which they are gearing up to do. And then also think about your network. Everyone's in the same boat, but some are healthier than others. And reach out and start your networking again about your network and who you know and what you can do in that network. That no one's working and that there aren't contracts. What I'm saying is that it's not at 100%. So you have opportunities now to reach out, build the relationships, and position yourself for future awards. It's also a time that your head is gonna get messed up. My head hurts from trying to keep up with this stuff. So, if you start focusing on winning, you can build your mindset around your future success for the remainder of the calendar year and the fiscal year. You can't control the external factors, so acknowledge them and move on. If that's gonna hold you up and that you're caught in the drama of all of this, it's just not worth your time. Just focus on what you can control. Your internal factors. This is something fully in your capacity and it's your firm. So you make the decision. I want to be successful this year. I'm going to get new contracts this year. I'm not going to let any defunding or slowdown in funding affect me. I will address these and keep moving forward. And then it's that whole mental mindset that I talk about so much. Keeping your head screwed on straight, making sure you're consistent in your actions and that you have a winner's mindset. If you wake up and you tell yourself you're going to grow your business, you're going to sustain clients, you're going to get awards when they come out, it'll happen. You keep training your mind to believe it and make it happen. And then, of course, this is stressful. I know there's money flowing. I know not all contracts have been defunded. We're not saying that, but it's still stressful on the unknown. There were plans made and expectations developed around having a certain level of activity, number of employees, whatever it may be, revenue, amount of revenue that is going to affect you physically. It'll create stress, it'll create depression, whatever it may be. Self care is critical. Self care may just be taking a walk. Self care may just be, walking away from the computer and reading for 20 minutes. Whatever it does, it clears your mind so you can keep focusing on being a winner and getting your contracts and keeping your company in good shape and expanding in this coming year is what you have to do here. There are some resources. If you're a small business, I'm pretty sure you know these. Acquisition.gov gives you every procurement forecast. Procurement forecasts are important because they say where the agency is going to spend money, who the point of contact is, what the program is, and a general range of the dollar amounts. These may or may not happen. It's kind of the wish list, but it gives you names and numbers to call and start building those relationships. Another cleanup item, you can see if you still qualify as a small business, and maybe there's a new program that you qualify under. For instance, the NAICS codes are different for each size of business. You will see at the chart below that the small business size standards are there for each of the set aside programs. What's this all really mean? What's in it for you? Well, it's a whole thing. Take action now so that you're not flat footed when the time comes and the money flows. There's going to be an abbreviated buying season because if you think about it, any new money coming out will have February through June, July to be committed. And once it's committed, it's fine. But Around June or July, the federal government sweeps up the money and reallocates it so that they don't lose it, the whole use it or lose it aspect of it. So you can take it in your own hands and start the networking now. Continue to network, continue to call direct to clients and prospects and see what money you can get your hands on. Make it easy to get yourself hired. Have your contracting vehicles known and visible. Have your set aside programs known and visible on any materials that you put out there. No one wants to be bothered going through extra hoops to hire you. So make it easy, and you can really see the benefits of that when it's time to spend the new money. I hope that this was helpful to you. There's no Q&A, of course, because I'm only talking to a recording, but I put out on my website the win themes, developing and presenting differentiating factors in proposals for professional service providers. And next week, which will be right after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, I'm gonna put out navigating the procurement forecast, and you'll see a series of new documents coming out every week or so. Free to you, just sign up for the mailing list and you can download the documents for free, and I hope they're all very helpful to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this presentation. I went through it quickly. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know. Libby Kavalakis at Pivot TBC. And have a great day. Bye.